everyone. This one's a bit shorter than the last one, and I hope to do longer ones, but we'll see how it goes. So, we keep going from where we left off basically last time, which is I'm gonna start detailing this area of like the more commercial area. Last time there was more of a residential, like, it's not even a full neighborhood because there aren't a lot of houses there, but like a sub neighborhood. But here's like more commercial, for example, that's like saddle makers. So I put a horse there and it moves and it's awesome, it's a great asset, and basically just more detailing. This area is gonna look a bit different later. I kind of changed everything because I didn't like it. I mean the one where I put the gravel down and the few trucks. But you'll see how it looks later. I think it looks a lot better. But anyway, yeah, we're putting like forklifts and stuff because I love that asset. Basically, I use it for everything. I think it's super cool. And just, yeah. So this is like not the harbor area. The harbor area is closer to the waterfront. We're gonna work on that later. But now I'm basically just working on this road that was so cool. That was like seagull assets that I put down, and they are not flying, so they basically look like pigeons. You can see they're just sitting there, which I think is awesome. So yeah, putting these electricity boxes, I really like doing that because it adds more clutter to like the general way things are. And basically ever since I started playing this game in a more detailed fashion, I've been paying a lot of attention to how the world around me in the real world looks like electricity boxes and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy how much we don't notice things. I'm adding in a curb, and this is how it looks. I think it looks from like a person's view. I think it looks great. I think it adds a lot. It's a lot more work to put the curb like not single-handedly, but like I mean manually, because it doesn't come with the road that I picked for this area. But I think it makes a huge difference, which is why I chose like going through with it, and I'm gonna keep going with it every time I use um, like a road that doesn't have the curbs naturally. Yeah, this area is right off the parking lot, and there's like a road that will basically you can either go out of the parking lot to the main road, or you could take like the side road to the harbor area for like trucks and stuff like that. We're gonna get there very soon, and that's gonna be the main part of this episode, like doing that area. I really like this backstage area for this restaurant that I'm now detailing. I think it looks awesome. It's very nice. Um, the brightness of those blue tiles is a bit much, but it's not that bad, I don't think. I think it looks fine. I experiment with graffiti a lot because I think it's awesome and I have great assets for graffiti. But yeah, I overdo it every time. So I end up like putting a shit ton of them wherever I want to put graffiti, and then end up like erasing everything there, and there's only like one left. So it's a struggle. Uh, this is a pedestrian. This is a pedestrian pathway, so trucks aren't allowed to go on it. We're gonna put signs and everything later. I use road assets that come without lights, so I can put the lights, and it's a huge issue because I don't really know how like city designers choose where to put the lights, so it's a big struggle for me. But I just hate it when road assets come with lights on them because it looks really bad. And so I make sure to never use those assets unless I absolutely have to, which is never. I'm putting a lot of these cool decals from Mad Hatter. It is a bit city skylines in the way that like now I even have decals so I can make the roads look more worn down. Now I'm building one big building out of 5 different buildings, and I am happy with like no like 10 different buildings. it was hard work, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's worth it when I mix stuff up and it ends up creating something very cool and unique that the game wouldn't allow for, because like you created something on your own. It's a bit like procedural objects in a way, in City Skylines, which I really like. I got really cool rock assets, so you'll get to see them next episode, and I'm really happy about them. This is that trick I do again with like getting a truck asset, for example, that I don't have like as an non-moving asset, so I just use the real ones. Um, so yeah, this is the road I was talking about that leads to the harbor area. The one that I just put the parked cars in, and putting on a walkway. Yeah, I put graffiti here, and then I ended up I deleted it, and now I put these like store signs that are made to be like ads. I'm not sure how I feel about it. If you have an opinion, you could let me know. That would be really awesome. I don't know if I should keep those or not. I'm not really sure. It looks good there, but I also feel like without them, it looks really like empty and bare and not interesting. Uh, you saw I made that bridge. We're continuing infrastructure to like generally know how the city is going to progress, like in terms of where the roads are gonna go. I lost a bunch of footage there actually whenever, because now you can see on the left there's like traffic lights, and I put them there, so I lost that footage. So that wasn't fun. But it was just a traffic light, so I don't think it's that bad. It's actually a mix of the traffic lights that the game lets you have with an asset of traffic lights, so I use both. Which takes some finagling, but it looks nice. I like it. This is a bicycle path that I made. Unfortunately, people don't ride bicycles in this game. That would have been awesome, but also very hard to do because the paths never really work very well. So even if I drew a path there, they'll probably drive through this like curb and not curb, like sidewalk, and not on it. So maybe it's fine. I just wish I had like a bicycle decal though that I could put on it, so it would be more of an official bicycle path. So that sucks, but I think it still looks good, and I'm gonna continue it the further we go ahead. So yeah, this is like a big factory. It's gigantic. It's one of the biggest buildings I've put down, except for the building I think that I made from a bunch of buildings. Um, it also has the only yard up until now that doesn't have any clutter or trucks in there. So it's just gonna be an empty yard, no trucks, no um, bins, no. When I say clutter, I mean like boxes or any type of assets. It's just gonna be an empty space because not every factory or every store have boxes lying around at all times. So I think it's fine. This is decorating the gas station, which I ended up being very happy with. Again, I used some buildings to kind of, now you can see it, to create an entrance, and I think it looks great. It really adds to it, I think. It's awesome. The asset is great on its own, but it doesn't have an entry, and that kind of drove me crazy. This is supposed to be like, I don't know, like for pumping the air in your tires or something. I'm really bad with cars, so I wouldn't know how that's called. I'm just adding some curbside here because just because how I made the roads, then the curb was gone and I wanted it to continue. So we're just not gonna look when pedestrians are just gonna walk straight through it. Just not gonna show it to you ever, so it's gonna be fine. It drives me a bit crazy the way sometimes I build something beautiful, but I completely scrap it because when one person out of the 100 that I simulated walks and goes into a building in a way that I don't want them to. It drives me absolutely crazy. So it's a struggle. I mean, it was an issue for me too when I did City Skylines, when it was like, Jesus, I hate when they just walk inside the stuff that I put down. And I get that the really big detailers, they just ignore it, but it really kills me. Like, it makes me want to cry. It's, yeah, yeah, so I don't know. It's complicated. So yeah, this is what I meant with the general harbor area, because this is straight on the sea. Like, you can see from the windows of these buildings, you can see the ocean. And yeah, I hope you understand the layout of what's happening, but I'm sure there will be some aerial shots at some point, so it will become clearer, like where are we and what's going on. We're back to the area, and you can see the traffic lights, so you can generally orient yourself. This is behind the building that I created by using like 20 buildings. And this is the rock asset that I talked about. I mean, one of like hundreds. It's phenomenal, and I'm very happy to have it. I'm actually gonna have a question for you next episode, because I already have a lot of it ready about like, because I made like rock walls. It's not walls, but they're like on the edge of the ocean, and I don't know if I should keep it from the original game rock or if I should like use the new rocks that I have. So I really like that I use the texture of like the farmland to create this little vegetable garden. This is what I meant. This is the residential building, and they're basically sharing the yard with the commercial building. The commercial building has a generator, and the people building has a grill and a small vegetable garden and stuff like that. So I thought that was nice. Um, so yeah, about the rocks. Uh, yeah, I don't know what to do. I kind of really like what I ended up doing before I had the rocks with the brush basically. But yeah, I don't know. You'll just have to see and let me know. I'm still like, the jury's still out on that one. Yeah, a lot of this detailing, this is the yard that I meant that is empty, because I'm not going to put any trucks there or anything, so it's just a lot of space that feels like wasted in some way because there's nothing there. But I also feel like not every space has stuff in it. It's just not how it is. Yeah, this is straight on the beach. Like, it's 30 minutes, it's 30 meters away from like the literal water. So this is very on the beach. You can see on the left corner, not anymore, but you could have. There was the train like part thingy compartment, which I ended up teasing in the first episode that I'm gonna explain about it, but I've looked around and I just deleted it, and I'm doing something else there because it's just, it didn't work out. Nothing I wanted to do with it ended up the way I wanted it to, so it's just like gone, and I feel like such a liar. But I guess it was on the left again just now. Yeah, so I guess it's just kind of like, I said I'll do something with it, but instead, what I ended up doing with it is deleting it. So I guess that's not lying. Yeah. Yeah, so this is great. I basically put signs and then I typed in names, and it's basically like reserved parking for the people working in that building. So I put these signs down, as you can see, and I slowed it down so you can really see what I'm doing. And now I feel bad that there are two names of men and only one woman. Like, why wouldn't there be more women in this company? Yeah, I went full SJW on your ass like in a second. I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is again just making things more cluttered. I feel like the more stuff I add, the more alive and realistic it feels, but it's really hard because I also feel like in real life not every single square centimeter has purpose, you know, like a thing on it. Anyway, so that's it for today. See you later.